Welcome to the Gear Slum, your one-stop shop for all things guitar culture nonsense. I'm Aaron.
I'm Phil.
And I'm Cole.
We slum it hard, so you don't have to.
Don't do that, Aaron.
That was a joke, guys. It was a joke.
What's
Not
the
a
joke?
good joke.
What's the joke?
Yeah.
Well, I'm laughing. Am I laughing?
That I farted.
We don't
and you're
need
not
you to
throwing
laugh.
up right now.
I needed me to laugh.
What's the joke? There's a pink bag on my chair. So I've been watching
Is
Breaking
that the
Bad.
joke?
Is that the joke?
Yeah, Breaking Bad. Go on.
Ever
With
heard of
your
it?
bad self.
It's a quality television series, right?
It's a high quality television series.
Exactly. I don't feel like that's a super controversial opinion.
Yeah.
And it's very
Very hot
enjoyable in spite of the fact that it's honestly pretty poorly written, and specifically two areas of the
That's
show.
the hot take.
Hank with all of his cop buddies, and basically Hank anytime he says anything, anything comes out of that guy's stupid mouth, it's just idiotic. And
But wait,
maybe
what
that's
season?
how cops are when they interact, but like it's all like it's written by a 10-year-old trying to write a
You
bunch
don't
of
think
cops
that's
bantering.
Intention of the character though, like
Yeah, like they're trying to
he's
highlight
supposed
the
think
fact
he's
that
a hot
he's
shot, but he's actually not that bright.
yeah, like everything he says is like pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Like he makes jokes and they're all just dumb, you know. But then the bigger thing, and I get that it's limited by the fact that they couldn't. I mean, they're on AMC. They say the B word a ton.
But
Yeah, but like,
Big old butts.
but like they can't. So like all the stuff Jesse says to his friends is just like so.
yeah. I know
Like
what
the
you're saying.
banter, you know. Like this episode I just watched, he says brosif. They're like talking about like a freaking drug deal, and he says brosif.
Or like when
that's
Tuco
not.
comes in and he's like, "I'm gonna break your freaking neck, you jerk."
Yeah, exactly. And like the swearing, right? Like you can't make up for
Yeah.
that, right? But it's
I think shows that are on like networks like that should just use bleeps.
yeah,
Well,
that's
and
like
they
fully
were-
accepted nowadays, right?
It was right. It was at a really interesting time television wise because that show mid series.
That show is mid.
No, how dare you? Mid series, it got insanely popular, like on like rewatch, like DVD rewatch.
Yeah.
And so the later seasons, they started actually like cussing, and then
Yeah, and they would bleep it
in
out,
the
right?
in the airing of it, they'd bleep it, but
Yeah.
then like, and it's really interesting that they were like kind of sitting on this line of like, okay, well, we know we're actually getting more people to watch this. Like, we're selling so many freaking DVDs, then why not put cussing in it and then just like bleep it? And I think at the time the networks were saying, okay, but not too much, like. But yeah, you're right. Now it's like,
Yeah, like it isn't crazy. It's not like Sopranos, which I also watched for the first time ever. Just like 2 or 3 episodes. It didn't really like hook me. But we wanted your opinion on this, Aaron. So
yeah.
So I didn't know anything about the Sopranos other than it was like Italian New York mobster guys or whatever.
Yeah, he's from Jersey, but go ahead.
Yeah. That's what I said. He's just on the other side of the pond there.
turn.
Yeah, he's in like Secaucus or something.
The whatever the body of water
Whoa,
is.
watch it.
And the whole like premise of it is, and I don't know if this does this carry. Have you seen all of the Sopranos stuff or a lot of it?
I've watched like half of the first season.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if this.
So no.
Okay, fascinating.
It seems like this
that
is
all three of us are like, not.
Yeah, but it's like
It's like reading like classic literature. It's like, yeah, this was probably cool for the time.
And it's
I
like
get
kind of
how
weird.
it was like important, but I don't want to read it or watch
And there's
it.
like scenes, and I know this is like a weird thing to care about or whatever, but there's like in the first few episodes, there's enough scenes where they're just like sitting in a strip club with like naked ladies dancing behind them.
Oh
that
yeah,
it's like,
that's like
I
very
don't know.
HBO.
That was
Yeah,
a big
yeah,
one.
totally.
Especially at the time, like
Like late 90s,
Yeah.
early 2000s HBO
Yeah.
or whatever. It's like, yeah.
get more
Uh,
naked ladies in here, you
Yeah,
guys.
just like as
Yeah.
background, not even like part
Totally.
of the story.
Which is like in some ways, I don't know if that's better or worse, but whatever. But the whole premise of it is that it's this mob boss who like kind of has a panic attack and then starts going to a therapist,
Mm-hmm.
which is also the premise for Analyze This.
Mm.
And so we're thinking that might have been, they came out the same year too.
Oh really?
Like season 1 of The Sopranos came out the same year as Analyze This. So we're thinking, is that like a Bug's Life Ants scenario?
Yeah,
Where
maybe.
where, you know, some information was shared between people or whatever. Or maybe like somebody pitched the show to somebody and they turned it down, but then they just stole the idea or whatever.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. What are some, like Dante's Peak and Volcano?
Yeah. Or
Yes.
Deep Impact.
Tombstone,
was-
White Earp,
Deep
was it
Impact
Deep
and
Impact
Impact.
and Armageddon.
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 Yeah, what are some other?
I don't know. Star Trek, Star Wars, and like, what's that other one? The
How dare
Flash.
you.
Flash
How dare
Gordon.
Okay,
kid.
here's 10 examples
Under
that they're
Siege
giving us.
and
Tombstone and Wyatt
Home
Earp.
Alone.
I feel like those aren't.
I said that one.
Oh, you did? Okay, they're that
Those are-
similar.
Their Tombstone is about Wyatt Earp.
They're both
Oh, The Prestige and The Illusionist. Remember those?
Yeah,
two?
that's a good
Oh,
one. That's
Those
a good
were
one.
really similar, dude. Mission to Mars and Red Planet.
Who's
okay.
in The Illusionist? That's the one with
Uh,
Jessica Biel
one is-
in it, right?
one is Christian Bale and the other one is
Edward
is it
Norton, right?
Jack.
Ed Norton.
No, Hugh Jackman and
Hugh
Christian
Jackman?
Bale are in the same one. They're in the
Yeah,
they're
Hugh
in
Jackman
the
and Christian
Prestige
Bale are
together.
in The Prestige, and then Ed Norton and Paul Giamatti are in the other one.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Jessica Biel, I believe.
Yep, and Jessica Biel.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
that one not being as good.
Yeah, it sounds like that wasn't as like.
That was like the
Did-
deep
Well
impact
thought
of the bunch.
Did the Sherlock Holmes movie starring Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law, did that come out like around the same time as the PBS TV show? Look at
The,
Aaron
the
and his-
BBC one.
Oh, BBC.
It was a
yes.
BBC.
Yeah.
BBC.
I don't know when that came out.
That's like British PBS.
No, that was later. That came out in 2010.
Sherlock was 2010. Yeah.
Sherlock's 2010,
and the other one's surely at least a couple years before that, right?
Don't call me Shirley. Oh, it's 2009. So that is pretty close. That's kind of an example, right?
That's pretty close. When did Elementary come on?
later.
Are you thinking of Recess? That was a
For-
cartoon back in the 90s.
So for our viewer at home, Aaron for some reason does not have a mic stand,
2012. Oh yeah,
but Aaron loves
I'm holding my
Googling
microphone
in the show, and
In
I
my-
just watched him.
in my neck.
He's been trying to Google with one hand, and then I made a comment that set Aaron off, and he was like, "No." I could see it on his face. He's like, "No, Phil's wrong. I'm going to prove him wrong right now.
I wasn't
and I need
wrong. I
both
was
hands
trying
to do it.
I was trying to figure out Elementary.
So he put his.
I
he
need
put
both
his,
hands to do it." And so he shoved the mic in his neck,
Yeah, like he's
his
talking
neck
on
and
a
shoulder.
phone.
like he's
Like
grabbing.
he's
I'm a telemarketer.
Yeah, like he's a secretary from the, from Spider-Man or whatever.
Remember when?
No, from the original Ghostbusters.
in his
Ghostbusters. What do you want?
Remember when the- people used to get like attachments that go on
was, like,
their
close to
headset
Marge.
to like shoulder mounts.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, those big squishy.
Or like the things
Yeah,
that stick
yeah.
onto the
bulbous-
handset thing.
Yeah, that's
that
what I'm
look like
saying.
a big banana.
Yeah, it like so you can kind of go like
Yeah.
you don't have to lift your shoulder.
Oh, so speaking of
They
my
should've
Marge
just worn
Simpson
headsets.
impression, we were just talking about Simpsons, that it's still on the air, still airing Sunday nights on Fox. Like, which is insane to me. It's season 34 going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
My kids watch like the news episodes and the old episodes. Marge sounds completely different now,
Oh, really?
and quite a few of the characters sound different.
Well,
now.
yeah, they're probably like different people, right?
Some of them must be, right? Like there's a few voice actors who did a bunch of the characters.
Yeah, like Hank Azaria.
Yeah. And then there's like,
Well,
I
who's
just
the-
forgot her
the-
name that does Bart's voice.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too. What were you?
But
gonna
even
say,
if it's
though?
the same person over time, like your voice over
Yeah,
30
yeah.
years, you know,
changes.
changes a ton. Especially because
Well,
it's not
you
even
said
your
you were
actual
going to ask
voice.
my opinion about something. What was that?
Oh, just about Analyze
It
This
was
and
that-
Sopranos.
Oh,
It was
Oh.
the song, the words to the Sopranos theme song.
Oh, that's the
woke
other
up
thing.
this
Yeah.
morning,
There's like, got some gun.
got yourself a gun.
No, not
So
that
I
one.
didn't know. That's like, it's like every time I see a movie reference and realize, oh, that was from The Simpsons. That's what they were referencing. You know?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like watching The Sopranos, that was one of the things I realized. Like, oh, that Gabagool song is making fun of the Sopranos theme song.
there's a Nas song that samples that song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, Sopranos. It's crazy how it stayed in the general like culture, right? Like it's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
referenced a lot and still really popular and everything, right?
It's still seen as like, well, they just came out with a movie, right? Like last year.
Which is kind of crazy for a show
What?
that for the longest time there wasn't like an easy way to watch it unless you had HBO, which is like a pretty small
Yeah.
portion of the population, right?
You had to like buy the DVD.
I guess it was DVDs, right? That was
Yeah.
like right
Yeah.
as DVDs were kind of becoming popular, so people
Yeah,
were just
yeah.
buying
Yes.
it on DVD.
Yeah, so there's that movie, the Many Saints of Newark. That's like it's a prequel
Ew.
to Sopranos.
Oh,
Yeah, whatever.
So
it's
it's
like
about
Mandalorian, Soprano Mandalorian.
yeah, but Tony Soprano
Brandon
is the like central character of it, but as a young man.
Oh, so it's
I
like the
didn't-
prequel.
I didn't watch it. But yeah, like Yoda. Like Yoda is the
Yoda.
central character of the Mandalorian, but
My-
as a baby, and then he grows up, and then he's in Star Wars the movies.
Aaron.
My
is
dad
trying,
one time like
Aaron is trying to make me furious.
I try to
my
make
dad
you
one
fast
time like 15 years ago.
and
He
furious.
never did anything on eBay, but he thought, I want to watch The Sopranos, and went on and bought. He's like, got this great deal on the entire run of The Sopranos on
Uh-huh.
DVD, and it showed up, and it was just like some of them had like the sticker. Remember the sticker label? You'd like print off on your computer and stick onto the DVD that you'd burned or the CD, and some of them were just written on there with Sharpie. And he's like, I can't believe I got bamboozled like this. Like, what did you think? You're buying like like $200 DVD set for $20 or something, like, you know.
Did they
Not
work though?
exactly
Like if they
not
work,
exactly
'cause it-
advanced yeah, they were like the actual.
you didn't
he's
get
like-
hurt. No one hurt
He's like,
you.
there's a lot of swearing in this show. That was the first thing he told me. I was like, yeah, Dad.
It's
It's
funny.
about-
It's kind of like it's similar to like, well, when I read printed media, they have standards about what they print. So I read it on the internet. It's got to be true. It's like somebody has a store. They must be
yeah.
Exactly. You hear that all the time.
above bar.
It's like
Well,
they had
it's on
they had
Amazon, so
an
like-
actual name. They have a website and everything.
Yeah. Which is hilarious too, because like how many I just bought a King of Tone, and it's like if you went to that website, if someone's like, hey, go to that website and buy that
You're like,
pedal,
yeah, that's not real.
like no,
yeah.
I'm not.
No.
are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
Exactly. I'm not giving them anything.
No way I'm giving them money.
It's more like go to that website, put in your email address, and then in 5 years buy the pedal.
Literally in 5 years, and you're gonna jump at the chance to spend $300 for this pedal.
Yeah.
So guess what options I chose for my King of Tone?
Ooh.
High gain red side.
Hang on. Did we talk about this last time?
Well,
Yeah,
I
you're
hadn't
going
ordered
to?
it yet.
Okay,
I
so-
think
okay.
I just got the email like while we were recording.
Yeah,
or
I don't know
something.
if we even mentioned it really.
Okay. I have a
Oh,
feeling
yeah,
that we
maybe
might
not.
have we might have so many new viewers this episode. So
Yeah,
maybe
we've
we
been
should
doing a
catch them up.
marketing push lately.
Yeah, let's run it back.
yeah.
Hold on.
So-
Let me talk like this to recreate the experience.
Gosh. So what are we running back? The fact that I got on the list in January of 2017,
Well, you know what? No, let's go. Let's back up more. Okay, so listen.
So what is guitar?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We are three friends who met on the internet. What else? Let's see. We have similar dispositions in that we seem to
Similar
hate.
compositions too.
And similar dat positions also.
Ooh,
We hate
this and that.
some of the same things, and we
Mhm.
love some of the same things. What else?
We are cynical about many of the same things.
There's a lot of things that we're ignorant about together.
Yes, we
We're
laugh.
just three middle-aged white man. Phil's post-middle-aged.
Yeah.
We live, laugh, love together.
This is what happens when you stop being polite and start being real. So tell us. So you got on in like 2018.
I can't. I'll have to go.
I want to
look
say
it up.
probably January of 18 because I think it's like
Yeah,
not
probably
quite
so.
5 years.
Yeah, I think it actually says in the email.
So you're gonna buy the King of Tone, and
It's available
your
to
big
you now.
question for
Okay,
us was: should
so
I
it
buy
says,
what I want and keep it, or should I buy what I think will sell so I can flip it?
Yeah, exactly.
And now you want us to guess what you did.
Yeah. Guess what I chose?
Did you just get purple? We'll start with color. Phil, what color do you think he got? And I'll guess my color, and then we'll keep points.
I think he got. Is okay. Wait, is this your second one, Cole, or your third?
Second.
Okay. I think he went purple gold. He went classic.
Dang, that's what I was going to say too, but I'm going to say white.
Both of those have a lot of validity. White one for obvious reasons. Purple and gold just because I'll probably not keep it and sell it.
Because you're a big
immediately.
Vikings fan.
Exactly.
Wait, so because
So I got just the plain
Suns
Jane
fan.
purple and gold.
Just the ball.
yes,
That was my guess too, so I get
Yeah.
points.
no.
You guys both get
I'm the winner.
points. And then
No.
what else?
Okay, so that's one for you, none for me. So let's say the right side, regular gain or high gain? Phil.
Is that the red side?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say high gain. Red say high gain.
Low gain,
He
Mid-
kind of painted you
mid-
into a corner there a little bit.
mid gain. Is there a mid gain?
Oh, you could say the same thing as me, and then you would be up 2-1.
Yeah.
Or you could say the opposite and potentially be up 2-0.
Or I could. What are my options if I choose the third door? And then Cole says,
Well, it depends.
no, it's not that door. Then what are the chances?
Yeah,
of-
so if there were three options, high gain, middle gain, and low gain, and I said high gain, and he said, no, it's not high gain, or he said, no. If I said high gain, he said, well, it's not low gain. Do you want to change? Then I would say, yes, I'll choose medium gain, and my odds would increase in doing so.
Yeah.
But I say there is no mid gain, so you say high or low.
Okay. Low gain.
And the verdict is
I got high gain.
1-1. What about the second side, the yellow side? Phil? High gain, low gain.
Low gain, of course.
Also low. I say low gain as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Low
all right.
gain.
2-2.
Okay.
What other options are there? Did he get a bonus back plate? Yes or no?
No.
I say yes.
Okay, so here's the interesting thing about that. It's only when I ordered my first King of Tone, I got a bonus backplate and it was like $5 or something.
Why?
Because it's like a huge selling point because if you ever put Velcro on it, you have
Yeah.
a total like brand new fresh painted replacement backplate.
Yeah.
So
So like if you want to use
What do
it
you-
and then
I-
resell it,
What are you talking about, Phil? This is a pedal that sells for $800 and you don't see
Okay.
the value in somebody wanting to have a perfectly clean backplate instead of one with Velcro
I
all
have
over it?
yanked Velcro off of so many pedals, and
You've never pulled paint off of a pedal?
never.
That's ridiculous.
yeah.
You're crazy. you are way in the minority there.
Why are you letting your pedals bake in the like? Are you putting them on the dashboard of your car at any
No.
point?
No, if
And
you
then,
put like dual lock on
depends
it
on
and
the
have it on
finish.
your board for like 3 or 4 years,
Yeah.
okay, maybe I'm just a lucky man.
Well, it's because you
Never
put like
having that
30
happen
little
to me.
nibs of. It's like you were shaving your pedal and then had to put little pieces of toilet paper on the.
plus
nibs
it's like
you made.
it's like $5. It's like a very low cost insurance.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was like
policy.
$5, so it's a total no brainer. And
That's-
it's
okay.
a bonus. You're like
Five
competing
of
against
my
the other 100 people on
$800.
Reverb that have the exact same pedal, right? It's a little.
Yeah.
But so when you go on the site to order it, it has like extras, and it just depends on what he has at the moment. I
Oh
think.
yeah.
So like the only thing available to me was like there's like extra pots. Well, here the site is actually still open. You just can't. It doesn't have any
Extra
extra
pots?
stuff right now. Yeah, there's like an extra foot switch and an extra
like
knob.
replacement parts.
Yeah,
Interesting.
just like little replacement parts.
Oh wow.
Which you could argue those would also add value to it for somebody who wants to, who's worried that they might break something or something like that. But
Yeah, but I would assume they have like a pretty decent like repair system too.
yeah, and also it seems like the back plate makes sense because in theory they would get like a certain number of cases back, and like maybe the front of it had blemishes on it in the printing or something, and so they end up with extra back plates. But like you can't really have an extra knob. Like I get why they would want to sell it, but it's like they would just use the knobs, right? Oh, are you guys still there?
Yep, listening.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so I ordered it and it was with the high gain, which only adds $10 to it. I think it's like free shipping, so it's just $285. They raised the price. It used to be $235 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So they raised the price to $275.
That's still not terrible.
No, because then like I'm gonna turn around and sell it for like $700 or something, which is like it's kind of arbitrary that like I could just be doing this for any number of other things, right? Like I could be buying like some random boutique, I don't know, freaking bike helmet, or it's just like this weird arbitrary thing that we and I would love to know what percentage of King of Tones people purchase to keep.
But here's the
maybe
thing.
maybe it's the vast majority.
Yeah, I would imagine it's probably at least half.
But if you know what the resale price is, that is a crazy decision to make. Because by not selling it for $800, you're essentially buying it for $800, right?
I mean,
Unless you take
not
the fees
really,
off.
but
I mean, you are though. Like you're choosing to keep the pedal over the money, so it's the same decision, just backwards, right?
yeah, but if you bought it for $800, you're losing the $800 and keeping the pedal.
Yeah, exactly. And if you sell the pedal, you're losing the pedal and keeping the $800. Like it's the same exact decision, right? I mean, either way, you're deciding like 6 months from now, I either want to have this $800 or this King of Tone pedal.
Yeah, so I guess it's like $500. You're losing $500 because you have the pedal and the whatever, not the difference. But it just depends. Like if you really want the pedal, then
Like once you
waiting
have the
for it-
pedal, the price that you paid for it goes away. That's no longer a consideration, right? Because like you can't get that money back either way. So at this point, I either can have the pedal or I can have, let's say, $700.
Mhm.
So it is like,
Yeah, but like if I already have $700, I'm not like losing the 700.
what do you
Because
mean?
So like you're saying, like if I don't have a pedal at all,
Yeah.
right, and I buy the pedal for $300,
Yeah.
then I'm only losing the like $400 difference, not the full 700, because I still have the pedal.
Is this? Are you?
Yes,
Is this
but
the same-
but you're making a decision at that point. So now you gave the $300 away and you have a pedal, right?
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying is you're losing $800 by not selling it, because that's the decision you're making, to not sell it. So you're giving up that money that you would have made when you sold it. You're choosing that I'd rather have this pedal than $700.
Yeah, if you start from a point of already having the pedal, yes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the point you're starting from, though.
But I'm saying like you're on the list and you're like, I could buy this pedal and
Oh yeah,
keep
being
it,
on
or
the
I
list
could
is a
buy it
totally
and
different.
sell it.
I'm saying buying the pedal and not selling it, though. Buying the pedal from the list and not selling it, you're deciding I would rather have this pedal than $700.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But on the other hand, like if you really, really want that pedal and you wait and buy it for 300 versus buying it for 700, then you're actually like saving money. So it kind of goes both ways. It just depends on like what you want.
But I'm
Yeah,
losing time with it, Aaron.
But what I'm saying is that you are essentially making that decision, because once you have the pedal, you are then deciding, I'm going to keep this pedal instead of getting $700 for it.
Yeah, so it's not like a loss. It's not a
pedal
loss.
is worth more than $7. Yeah, it's an opportunity loss.
Yeah,
it's an opportunity
worth
cost.
You're valuing the pedal at essentially more than $700. You're saying it's more valuable than the $700.
Exactly. Which yes,
because at
like
some
it's
point,
not the same as actually spending
$700,
$700, but it's close, you know.
Yeah, because if
It's like a
someone's like,
similar
I will
decision.
give you $10,000 cash for that pedal, you're gonna be like, yeah, okay.
Totally.
And then I'll just buy a new one for 700.
So it is like it feels cheesy to just buy this pedal and turn around right away and sell it.
Yeah,
But it also feels cheesy to like, what am I going to do? Keep this in my drawer with all my other pedals because I only ever play bass anymore anyways?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Here's how you have to think about it, though. You're doing a service to the people out there who aren't on the list.
Yeah.
Because the more people who buy them to flip, the lower the resale price gets.
Yeah, there you go. I'm a man. I'm like
So,
Robin Hood.
By buying it and putting it in a drawer, you're actually boosting the secondhand market.
Yeah,
by
don't do that,
creating more or lowering the supply. So the ethical thing to do is to buy it, even if you don't want it, and then resell it for like 400.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yes.
Yes. The ethics were sounding really great until they cost me a couple $100. It's weird how that works. Speaking of ethics, we were going to talk about Twitter and those employees that pretended to get fired.
So Elon Musk bought Twitter, and a lot of people he laid a bunch of people off like immediately.
Super chill.
Fired a CEO, fired a bunch of people. I also saw that like instances of the N-word on Twitter rose by like 400% like the next day,
which is like super great, like indication of where things are going.
Good stuff.
Can I ask a question before you go on?
You can.
Why, like, the people who say, I think Elon Musk is so cool, like, why is that? That is such a douchey take. And I don't understand why that's not so obvious.
It's because he went on Joe Rogan and like, that's it, I think.
And he's rich, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It's
and
like,
he's
you're super rich.
It's like
he's like exactly as cool as Donald Trump and Mark Zuckerberg. Like that's how cool Elon Musk is.
It's because they think he's gonna like that they are one of them.
Yeah.
They think that they are like temporarily poor and that they're gonna be a super wealthy alpha dog someday.
Yeah, but they also act like he's like Dan Bilzerian or something. Like
yeah, like he's
no
all he's ever done is he was given a bunch of money and opportunity and turned that into more money, which is like the easiest thing ever.
Yeah, it's easy
by exploiting a ton of people and by being a huge a-hole.
Yeah. To answer your question, I don't understand the appeal of him. I think it's because he makes like cheesy.
He was like a
cars,
Reddit
cheesy cars.
So he's like a perfect example of like anyone, you get enough money and you become a right-wing nut job, because he used to be like pretty, like really popular on Reddit. He was like really active on Reddit, and he was kind of an internet bro, like a meme bro or whatever.
I think Dan Bilzerian is to frat boys as Elon Musk is to incels.
Yeah.
He's like the incel Dan Bilzerian.
Oh my gosh.
Am I wrong?
You don't think Dan Bilzerian is to incels? Like, I mean, like that's what they want.
Yeah, but they're like,
Right?
he's
That's what
not
they
one
want.
of us because he's like betrayed us to like give the women
Oh,
what they
yeah.
want, kind of. Like he has no principles. If he did, he wouldn't be getting women. Because if you assume that a principled
Is it-
person can attract women, then that deletes your whole stance as an incel.
Yeah.
You can't then blame it
Where
on the
does
women
Andrew
anymore.
Tate fit into this?
I don't know who that is, but
He doesn't like track enough.
What?
he's on TikTok. I know.
He's
Or
not
was,
like
but-
his influence is very limited compared to you're just very
And
active on
we-
TikTok.
Cole, we need Aaron. Cole, we
got
need
me.
Aaron to
Oh.
know about Andrew Tate.
All right, but first I got to tell you about these two guys.
I mean,
that,
did you not hear me totally
Yeah.
agreeing with him?
Yes.
that were fired from Twitter.
Oh yeah.
So obviously all the news places are like doing stories, right, about how everyone's getting fired. So these two guys come out of the Twitter office carrying boxes, and they tell the reporters waiting outside that they just got fired from Twitter. and,
What?
and the dudes' names are Raul Ligma and Dan Johnson. And they're like just totally trolling all these people. So this story like gets traction, and they're like interviewed on, I forget like what outlet, but they're like interviewed, and it's like reshared and reposted by all these different news organizations.
Yeah.
The Ligma Johnson.
It's like, and then
case.
so we were just talking. Was this during the episode that we were talking about how like it annoys me that all those stupid videos of people going up and saying like, "Oh, do you want this dollar, or should I double it and give it to the next person?" Or
yeah.
any of those like people on the street videos are all staged, right? Or
Yeah.
95% of them. But a lot of people don't realize that like that isn't their immediate first thought.
Yeah.
Like, why are people so, or like the freaking the Darrell Brooks case, that person who pretended to be a juror who did that big,
Oh, I didn't see that.
oh, like they posted on Reddit pretending to be a
Mm.
juror and basically saying like, I'm a juror and I don't think he's actually guilty, and
Yeah.
and in theory like exposing stuff about the case, but it's like,
yeah.
and then when they found out it's not a real person, which is like obviously it's not, everyone's like, oh, are they going to face criminal charges? And it's like, well, it's not against the law to lie on Reddit. Like that's, if it was, everyone would be in jail, you know, like every
Yeah.
incel would be in jail at least.
It
So
is
it's-
against the law to be a juror and divulge things, but like if
Exactly,
you're
but
not
that's
a
the thing
juror,
they're
you're not
mixing
a
up
juror.
is like,
it's
he's
just
not a
freaking
juror.
liar.
He's just a dude. Like,
yeah.
You don't get arrested for saying you committed a crime that you didn't commit.
exactly. Which ironically, you can get arrested for saying you're going to commit a
You
crime,
can.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you like admitted to it, you like somebody might arrest you. If the crime happened and you admitted to it, you could get arrested for that, obviously. But
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, yeah.
I think
Tell all
I
the
think
people in
there's
prison
gotta
who were like coerced into confessing, you know. That's essentially
Crazy.
what happened.
there's
to
got to
them.
be something that they can charge you with, like if you're like using police resources or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like obstruction or something, you know.
Because if I claim that I committed a crime and then that takes police for like, you know, manpower.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a filing
Or
a
woman
false
power.
report or something.
Yeah, filing a false
Right.
report, yeah, something like that.
Who knows? Police, man.
But it's crazy though that like people still like they'll believe what they want to believe. And no matter how
Yeah.
skeptical some people are, when a story like that comes out, it's like, man, I really want to believe that, so I'm just going to do it, you know, because it's really interesting.
And this one's a lot darker, but this whole Paul Pelosi stuff, I have some friends who like immediately were like, yeah, can you believe that he had a gay prostitute? And I was like, wait,
You're like, no,
What?
I can't believe that, and I don't believe it.
Like I can believe it.
Yeah,
but
like I believe anything of
don't
anyone
believe
who's
it.
really rich is probably doing really weird, screwed up stuff,
Yeah.
right?
right. And then he was like my friends within like it was so quickly. They were both of them were sending me all of these facts. They're like, Phil, you didn't hear, and then there was like this, and I was like, geez. And I sometimes I'm just sick of arguing with them, so I just kind of like let them go. I was like, I didn't hear any of that. That's wild. And then like the next day, it was like, whatever the source was like,
it's like totally not true.
Fox News like retracted it, but like very quietly retracted it.
Yeah,
and then
It's weird how they do that.
and then I'm like, okay, but they still like my friends are still making
That's
gay
the crazy
Paul Pelosi
thing.
joke.
When it's when it's like been fully debunked, it's like you now know that was 100% false, and it's like, well, but I still think it's true, and it's like,
yeah, it's
but it wasn't
probably
even based
true.
on anything.
Yeah, right. It was literally fabricated. So it's like, but they're still.
I don't know.
I would have
They're
put it
still
past him.
Exactly. They're still like, oh, hammer in the butt. Ooh. And I'm like, wait,
Yeah,
what
it's
are
like-
you even talking about?
You still like Marilyn Manson did have a rib removed. Like, come on,
Yeah.
we all know. Like,
I
Yeah.
mean, he's done far worse things than that. It would appear, but
Marilyn Manson?
yeah.
yeah, he had quite the arc, right?
He ate my girlfriend. Just kidding.
What do you mean by that?
It's a what's that? It's a Reliant K song.
Reliant K song.
Marilyn Manson ate my girlfriend.
Ah.
I think it means that she became
So-
gothic.
So Marilyn Manson had an interesting character arc because he went from being like, he was like the poster child of like Christian fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for
Him
sure.
and Nine Inch Nails, at least in Utah. I'm assuming it was like that.
Yeah, in the Burn
Um,
Again scene, yeah.
And then people started to, like, the story that was kind of more widespread in the early 2000s was that he's actually just like this mild mannered,
Yeah.
kind of
yeah,
like
yeah.
who's the guy that golfs a lot, and it's not
Alice Cooper.
Tiger Woods.
Yeah, Alice Cooper, exactly. Like
Oh.
he, in theory, he seemingly is just like a really chill guy. Super
Yeah,
chill.
yeah.
Well,
All these abuse allegations come out against
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson. It's like, well, turns out he was actually terrible, but in a completely different way than we thought.
Yeah, he had that big moment
it
with
was-
Columbine where they were like, he was on a news
yes.
show and they're like, what would you have said to these kids if you could talk to them? He's like, I wouldn't have said anything. I would have listened to them. And then everyone was
It
like,
was Bowling for
"Oh."
Columbine.
Yeah, it was in
Yeah,
Bowling
yeah,
for
yeah.
Columbine. Yeah. I think he said it on like Ricky Lake or something.
Dude, Ricky Lake. I wonder what she's up to.
I
She
don't
has a
know.
podcast now.
Does she?
Does
Of
she
course.
really?
I mean, wouldn't put it past her.
I mean, we have a podcast, so
Dude,
like,
that's great. If you're like a female pastor, you could have a podcast and you call it Wouldn't Put It Past Her, but past or
Wouldn't put it.
oh, what if you're like a
Put it
woodworker
past her.
too, and you call it wooden put it pastor?
what if you wouldn't put and pastor?
Put it.
Oh, and
I
you make
don't like
pudding,
that at
yeah.
all. Pud.
Would
Then people would just pronounce it pud. They'd be
yeah,
like,
you
wooden
you
pud
deal
pastor?
with wood and pudding, and there's a pastor, so it's wood and put and pastor.
Wooden
No,
pud.
Wouldn't put in pastor.
That pud
don't- I
sounds
don't-
really bad.
it does. It sounds
Pud.
very.
Or maybe
Pud.
maybe the pastor like makes wooden carvings of pudding, like pudding cups.
I don't
Wooden-
want to
Okay,
Google.
Ricky Lake-
Wooden pudding pastor.
Ricky Lake totally looks like a sweet old lady now. Like not super old, but like she has all gray hair and like she
Will
actually
one of
looks
you
cool.
Google
based solely on
pud?
her appearance.
I feel
I'll be
like
the pud.
it's going to be something bad.
What's that?
It's like
Will
a
one of you
like
Google
a penis thing.
Pud?
A pud. Pud is like a
Yeah,
pud is like another word for a penis.
yeah.
What?
You've never heard that?
You
But
never
what about
heard that?
Pud? But what about Pud?
It's the same. It's
the
just a
same word.
mispronunciation.
Tell me how to spell those two words differently.
Pud
Uh
is Pud.
huh.
Poud?
That's powd
No, that's poud.
or pood.
No,
or
could.
pood.
Good.
Could
Oh,
has an
you're
L in
saying
it. First of all,
Pould.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Pould. Pud.
Pud. I don't think that's a word though.
Okay.
poultry.
I know, like,
Woulda,
I've never,
shoulda, coulda.
I've never talked about this
Woulda.
publicly, but from the time I was about 10 years old, I
Ooh.
spent a lot of my mental time just thinking about words and how they could be spelled properly and
Oh,
everything.
okay.
And so Pud would actually be Pughd, just for the record, you know.
That's puffed.
No,
Just kidding.
no, you know. Pud.
Why? What?
Huh?
Why?
Why what?
Why would it be PUGHD?
It's years of like of my brain going down, you know, these lines of like, well, if this modifies this vowel in this way, then it would modify this other vowel in this other way, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And good, like the way you'd spell good would be Gughd,
Like good?
because G and H, you know, behave differently with OOD after him, you know. And W.
Nope, I
So-
do not know. I'm
Good and
lost
hood
in
and
the
wood.
sauce.
Those are,
You
you
said good though.
I know, so that's why I'm saying good would be spelled Gughd, because it modifies it the opposite way, you know.
But what about good?
It's just GOOD. It's already a word.
Why would so good is not a word? You're just
Exactly.
saying if it was a word.
Yeah. Just like pud isn't a word. What are you talking about? That's
Well,
where this
because
whole conversation
you started it backwards though. You
Yeah.
you would have say GUGHD would be good, is how I would expect that information to come to
Oh,
me.
that seems like a very subtle difference, though.
Well, but I thought you were just mispronouncing good. Is what I was like.
Oh.
Why?
You're like,
Do you
"Well,
not know
that's
how to
fair."
say good?
That's fair. Like, oh, either he's autistic or he's having a stroke, and one of the
Yes.
not sure which one it is.
You're good. It's all good. What about Gouda?
I saw this TikTok today that just said the ROTC is America's way of weaponizing autistic people.
Oh my gosh.
And there are so many comments that are like, "Yep, that's me."
Dude, I went to I was
Holy crap.
I knew this guy in college who was in ROTC, and he was an English major, but he would always be reading Nicholas Sparks books.
I wish I knew who that was.
Nicholas, you don't know who Nicholas Sparks is?
And not off the top of my head.
He
is
writes
that a-
like
Yeah.
he writes like
Yeah.
I guess what I
Oh,
would
he wrote the
describe
Wrote
as
the
like
notebook.
yeah, like
and a walk to
clean,
remember. Okay,
clean,
Yeah, yeah,
family
yeah.
friendly romance.
They call
novels.
it what? Oh, because there's
Chicklet, which is
No,
also
there's-
a small gum.
there's a couple off. It's like that's like a Mormon thing too. It's probably a Christian thing, right?
Yeah, probably.
There's a word.
Right. Safe.
There's a
safe
word
romance.
for it. It's not like romance novels. It's dang, I can't think of what it is. But at any rate,
But I read because I would always talk trash about Nicholas Sparks, like he's bad, but I was basing it off just
Yeah.
the movies.
that's some deep trash you're talking there.
No, I'm just saying, like I had an opinion about him
Yeah.
before I had any real
This soup
information.
is bad.
And so I read one of the books, and it was not good. It was very poor writing. It was like written at like a 7th grade level.
It's like Breaking Bad Jesse writing.
Yeah, it's just it was so awful,
Hmm.
really bad. He's had a lot
Yeah.
of books made into movies.
He
though, I
looks
believe.
like a real goofball too.
Oh, I'm sure. He's also like super rich.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he has to be. I mean,
Well,
it's
plus-
been like 20 novels or something, and like half of them have been movies.
Yeah. And so he would get like you'd think he would have to get a lot of like credit
Oh,
when they make a movie
Well,
based on a
I
book
bet-
that you wrote, right? Like you'd have to be some kind of executive
Mhm.
producer or something like that.
oh yeah,
Maybe-
yeah. Or at
maybe
least you
not the
sell
first
it.
one.
You sell the rights for a ton of money.
Dude, the movies that he's
Right.
been involved in have grossed a total of almost $1 billion.
Whoa.
And it's
So
like
here's the
10
thing,
It's like
once
10
it's-
movies.
Once he's like not just like a known, like a marketable author, but when he's a known, like when his books are like a marketable script,
yeah.
like everybody knows, oh man, we put his name on it and we know it's going to sell. That's when he really starts freaking raking in the money.
Well, yeah, then you're the kind of author who like writes books just so they can be made into movies.
knowing, yeah, exactly. Knowing that
You're
it's
like Michael Crichton. Like
yeah.
they bought the
So-
rights to Jurassic Park before the book was even finished.
Did you guys hear? Did you guys listen to the most recent? How did this get made?
I have not listened
About
to any
Dracula-
of that movie.
Man, I was
Dracula
that show all the
2000?
time.
Mm-mm.
So they were talking at the end that the poster and the actual official title is Wes Craven's Dracula 2000, and he literally had absolutely nothing to do with the movie.
They just put his
Oh,
name
really?
on it.
They just went to him. They went to him. They said, "Hey, will you put your name on this?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"How much money?" And they're like, whatever. And he's like, "Okay, I'll do it." And they, like
Dude.
didn't read the script.
That's
didn't
like-
anything. They knew if we put his name on it, we know it'll sell more. And so I think it was
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein was like, okay, what's your
Great
price?
guy.
Yeah, exactly. Name your price. And he's like, and he like giving them, and they're fine.
Jeez.
I mean, they're gonna make it back.
Yeah.
Right, because they know that has clout, right?
Yeah.
That name,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they did. Now I need to Google it. What did he make?
What he got paid for that?
And what did the movie make?
Oh,
What he
yeah.
got paid, and then what the movie made.
Yeah. They should call it "How did this get paid?" How did he get paid? How much?
Ooh.
How much did he get paid?
How much did this get paid? It's a little.
Yeah.
It's a few steps removed at that point.
How much did that guy get paid?
Or girl. How much
Well,
did
they
that
have separate
individual-
podcasts.
Oh yeah, the other one might not have as
How much did they get paid?
The one about the how much did this girl get paid is only like 2/3 as long as the other one.
Or it always comes out.
here's
It comes
another-
out like months later, I think.
Here's another funny thing about that episode was Harvey Weinstein. Like the script was rushed because he bought the script and like he knew, okay, we've got to get this movie out before the year 2000 is over.
Oh yeah.
So they had to rush production and all this stuff. And somebody was reported saying to Weinstein, like, okay, why did you buy this script? Like, it's really bad. And he goes, because it's called Dracula 2000. Like, that was his response.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if your goal with making movies is to make money, then yeah, you're gonna buy it for the name.
which is like obviously his
It's
goal,
called-
right?
You don't care about making art,
It's
so
so-
like if it's bad, who cares?
But that's such a.
I mean, it's true though.
It's like this stupid.
It's
so
like King Kong versus Godzilla.
It seems.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, but I mean that's arguably
dude,
a way
no.
cooler. Like in
No,
the title,
Dracula
of that,
2000 is
you
a way better
sense
movie
so much.
title. Dude, in
It's-
like 1998, 99, calling things whatever
It's so
2000
funny.
was
Yeah.
like a no
Why was
brainer.
that such a? It's so funny because it's never. I mean, I get it. It's like a new millennium, right? But
Yeah. You think whatever versus Godzilla is a better title than Dracula 2000?
Dracula 2000 is
that-
a pretty great title.
I mean, it's
I think
more
that-
descriptive, yes, but is that all you want from a movie title? Description?
No. But when I hear King Kong versus Godzilla,
Mhm.
in my brain starts painting fantastical pictures and images.
Yeah, I think it does all the
And
work
Dracula
for you, and there's
2000, I'm
nothing
like,
to. Dude, Dracula 2000 is like, okay, this is Dracula, but in the year 2000. That's amazing. It's like an old story, but happening now in 2000.
That's it.
Like he has like a cell phone. He
This
has
is
like
very
an email
much it.
account and stuff.
Dude, he's probably rollerblading.
Yeah, dude.
Everywhere.
Snowboards and rollerblades.
Dude, Blade would have been a much better movie if it was called Rollerblade.
Dude, I forgot the Colorado Avalanche When they first announced the team, they were going to be called the Colorado Extreme. Isn't that the most mid-90s thing you've ever heard?
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
It's terrible.
Yes.
And people got so angry about it that they changed it.
They're like, hockey's about more than words.
Ooh, it is about more than words. The song More Than Words
By Extreme.
by Extreme. You know what else is a word?
In a word, yes. All I want to know is how come no one ever talks about eating your kids' Halloween candy? Like, why isn't that a thing people talk about?
Are you being sarcastic? Because people always talk about it, like dad tax and stuff.
Yeah. And
I love how
friendship.
I love how those videos backfired. Was it Kimmel or
Oh
Fallon
yeah,
that did
it was
those?
Kimmel.
Like they did it one year, and everyone's very first immediate reaction was to laugh, and then they're like, "Oh, wait a second, everyone hates this." But like very quickly, it was like, "Oh, you guys are all jerks to your kids," you know.
But they still do it. He still does it.
Yeah, it's a weird. Like it's just like it's the thing we've always talked about with Punk'd. Like the premise of why the video is funny is like, oh, these kids overreacted, and it's like, no, they didn't overreact. You just lied to them.
And they're children. It's not.
Yeah,
not
like their
adults.
I know.
reaction.
That's the thing. It's different than Punk'd because what's inherent in Punk'd is people like to see somebody who's rich and famous get knocked down a peg.
Like
Yeah.
you're like the ultimate punching down. You're
Yes.
laughing at some kid for being
Children.
emotional, which is like that's what
Yeah.
they do.
And it's like it's not like they're like some random person is like pranking them. It's
Yeah, this
the
is like the
person you
most
trust
important.
most.
Yes, their own
The most
parents.
important person in the world to them, who's like trust is the most important thing to them. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh man, when those kids are grown up, we're in for a world of hurt.
Yeah, I didn't
already
even have the
are.
heart to tell my kid Santa was real. So
Was real?
yeah, like my
Oh, like to
my
start.
oldest son asked when he was like really young. He was like, "No, tell me the truth. Is Santa real?" Oh, dude.
Dude, I got this massive bag of candy, and my kids can't eat any of it.
Yeah. Because they're so stupid.
They can eat Kit Kats, I guess. Like that's not hard.
Oh, why do they have allergies or something, or is it it's just because they can't like chew it?
It's
and
just
stuff,
because they're
right?
like babies, and
Yeah.
they don't get candy. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna give them like Skittles.
I'm gonna give them
Something.
Skittles so they can choke on them.
Yeah.
Choke the rainbow.
They're too young.
I mean, it might be covered in fentanyl too. So
Yeah, that was a good TikTok, by the way, that you sent.
It's crazy to me that's a perfect example of like everybody at this point knows that is just a farce that people were ever including drugs in Halloween candy.
Yeah.
And
No, they
but
don't.
there's still this whole generation that's like, no, fentanyl now. It's like, but that was never real. What makes you
here's the
think it's going to
problem.
be real now?
Now they're giving away like expensive drugs is the thing.
Yeah, it
Here-
makes
here's
even
the
less
problem.
sense.
Here's the problem. I've been thinking about this a lot because fentanyl is becoming a very big problem in my area,
Hmm.
and this was like an actual bust like a couple months ago in Sacramento of
That's not
A
exactly
box
your
of candy.
area, but
a box of candy, North SenCal,
a
A
box
bo-
of candy.
a box of candy, like it was like Nerds or
I'll say
something,
a box of candy again.
and then
Ooh, piece of candy.
fentanyl, rainbow colored fentanyl pills, like
Uh-huh.
out of the box, and they're like, okay, so look, this is a new thing that they're doing with fentanyl. It's rainbow colored. Now, to me, I go, okay, like it's very logical in my mind. Yes, the manufacturers of these drugs can more easily hide the drugs if it looks like candy and they put it in boxes of candy,
Mhm.
and then they can
Yeah.
they
Like the
say
purpose
one-
of that was to hide it. It's
Yeah.
not like when they find
not
like
to give it away to
it's not like when they
unsuspecting
find
children.
baby dolls full of cocaine. They're like, uh-oh, they're trying to
Right.
give your kids baby dolls full of cocaine. It's like, no,
Yeah.
that's how they're smuggling it. Like
And so here's the thing. Again, now does that mean that still means we should be aware of this and we should tell our children, hey, listen, if your creepy stoner brother brings home a box of candy, don't touch it. Like that's still a thing. But this whole idea of like they're trying to
Yeah, that
give
somebody's
our
handing it out.
children fentanyl is so freaking stupid to me.
Because, like, it would be one thing, because it's not like you get addicted to a drug by taking it once. You get addicted to a drug by, like, seeking it out and taking it, and then seeking it out at the same place because you want to have that feeling again or whatever.
Right. If you accidentally ingest it, you're not going to know what to go after.
Yeah, you don't even know what to do. Like, they're not, like, they say the first one is free, but it's like, that's when a drug dealer is giving it directly to you so they can get you hooked and you come back to them or whatever.
Yeah.
You guys,
it just doesn't pass the absolute most
people.
minimal, like, smell test, right?
Yeah.
Like, just thinking about it for 2 seconds logically just absolutely, discounts it.
It's because people, it fits into like you have to already buy into like a larger narrative about those people trying to destroy our country and our children. And then, then that is like one tactic that they have. So that makes sense. But you have to already buy into the larger narrative first.
It is hilarious too that, like, so much of that, they sort of trade on this idea of, like, oh, I'm cool and macho and manly and independent and all this stuff, but so much of their rhetoric is just fear-based. Like, how, like, you see so many clips of people that are like, I went to this inner city and I was scared the whole time. Like, they're just, like, scared to go to cities, just like urban areas, like it's hilarious. Anyways, thanks for friendship.
Thanks.
We got to end this.
Thanks for fentanyl. I mean, friendship.
Ugh. Smile.